it off like that. We know he's a good bike rider, but the man's just got class coming out of his ears. He's just an absolute monster on the bike, and he thoroughly deserves that. I think after everything that he's done in this race, going into breakaways, helping his teammates in the early days, getting to this point, it's the one thing he's always wanted since he started.
You're right. There can be an element sometimes, Matt, of a little bit of luck playing into a stage victory. There's nothing lucky about this. This has been...
Soon, stay with us.
Really interesting from Giulio Ciccone there. He was saying that he was feeling sick, which made today mentally hard. He has been one of their key riders coming into this race. They would have hoped for a stage win with him, possibly even being up there in GC. Perhaps he's been feeling under the weather. Often when this happens, certainly with a key rider in a team, if they're not feeling well, they drop away. They think, okay, I can't contribute. I can't give the team what I was here to deliver. Not so with Giulio Ciccone. It just shows the teamwork amongst that team, that camaraderie, that he's still giving it all for Mads Pedersen.
Totally, and it's another illustration of how important teams are in this sport. We talk about individuals a lot, but we need to constantly remind ourselves, not that we really need it, that teams are massively important. But it was interesting because it was quite bittersweet. Adam picked up on the fact he seemed quite downbeat. I think it's a combination of things. Probably a sense of relief they finally got the stage win, tinged with a little bit of personal disappointment because he was absolutely flying in the first week and he's clearly ill. And he's worn out. They've just ridden, on the front for pretty much the entire race. They had to use all of their squad. They had to use Verona, Gebre Ciccone, and the French lad whose name escapes me, Bernard as well. All of them rode with one other Movistar rider all day long to bring that move back. So I think he's absolutely exhausted too.
I'm sure he is. And as you said, he's feeling very sick certainly right now. OK, we've got 5.2 kilometres left in the red jersey group in their race to the line. Adam, chat us through what's going on here so we don't lose sight of it.
Not a lot.
Last 5K I think we've got left now, isn't it?
Yeah, 5K, pretty much 4 point something to go. But yeah, they were, like Matt said, they'll be pushing on, but for the peloton, that's been a relatively, it's like a double rest day, although a long rest day. And the last 50K, I think when Bahrain started pulling, it will have ramped up a little bit, but you can just see from the pictures here, everyone's super relaxed. You've got Philipsen towards the back there. Yeah, they're just having the easiest ride in as possible for them.
Right, we can get some more race reaction today from a man who was right up there for a lot of the day and certainly in the finish, Egan Bernal. What a brilliant ride it was from him. Let's hear his reaction to the stage. Good to see him back smiling again, isn't it? He finished 6th in the end, and a bit reminiscent this Vuelta of his Giro d'Italia, where he was riding so well at the start. We had such high hopes for him, dropping back slightly in this Vuelta. However, being up there in the mix today, Adam, is going to give him a lot of confidence, you'd imagine, going ahead with the rest of this race. We still have a week of racing left, don't we?
Yeah, he had that little bit of freedom this morning where he was able to go in the break and no one's too concerned about him on the GC. But as Egan said himself, he enjoyed it, racing those races. Like, we all grew up when we've raced, enjoyed getting in breakaways, just having a bit of fun, playing at the sharp end of a bike race. And days like that, where it's such a mix of riders in there, they're the days that you can really start to have a lot of fun and just enjoyed being a bike rider. And for Egan himself, he's been in that position all of his career, where he's just sat in, followed his teammates. So, yeah, we probably will see more of him. And I hope we do, because he did a brilliant ride today, and his Ineos Grenadiers teammates. So there's 3 of them up there. So, yeah, chapeau.
Yeah, as you can see, we are keeping an eye on this, just in case anything happens in the last 2.5 kilometres. But we mentioned his teammates. What about Magnus Sheffield? What happened to him in the final corner?
I don't know whether we can see it again, but he just came off on that final right-handed, and it was a right and then another right. It was freshly tarmacked, and quite often the fresh tarmac can be a little bit more slippery. But actually coming in, I think he just came in a bit hot. He had a completely different, I'll be honest with you, it's just rider error, complete rider error. Got the line wrong and had to adjust late and just lost traction on the front wheel. Big shame, because actually he's reasonably quick. He wouldn't have won that, but he might have been a little bit higher than Bernal. He might have got top 3 at best, but putting all our away would have been a hard one. But a big shame for the American after getting, as you said, 2 in the front split. They rode very well today, but yeah, bit of a shame. But rider error on that occasion.
Yeah. Tell you what, unusual, isn't it, to not have a UAE team member, it's XRG rider, winning the stage. It's our first stage in 5 days where we haven't had a UAE rider. However, Jay Vine was having any panic there heading into our second rest day. An opportunity going for Jasper Philipsen, however. It's a hard old race for the sprinters to be hanging off the back of, isn't it? With very few opportunities for a fast finish.
Yeah, when that group went at the start today with 40 riders in, whatever happened, it was a small break that went away. But this late on in the race, the terrain they had at the start.
Okay, so Jonas keeps the lead in this race, just had it confirmed. Dunbar, Eddie Dunbar finishing in 5th in the end. Let's hear from the Irishman.
Eddie, it's coming once. Thank you so much.
Cheers.
Eddie's been looking strong, hasn't he? He's been looking quite threatening. He's there or thereabouts. He's been in the mix a few times. How do you fancy his chances over the rest of this race, Adam?
Good. The next week, we've got a little bit more Eddie Dunbar-esque in this welter.
He seems up for the fight, doesn't he? One man who has been up for the fight since the very beginning of this Vuelta, and an effort that has finally paid off. It's been Mads Pedersen, our stage winner on stage 15. Let's hear from him.
One knew what you wanted to.
Compare and contrast Mads Pedersen's interview demeanour from the start of the day to the end of the day, and that just goes to show the energy and the motivation that a stage victory can give to you. And fair play to Mads for not shying away from the extent of his...
I think he might win another.
Yeah, this is the bit I was talking about, Adam, where he went off in search of his teammates. We don't actually see that very often, do we?
No.
Sorry. Can we cut to a break? Sorry about the third leg.
I'm just picturing the UCI coming up to Mads Pedersen saying we've
Where's
already
the
got an
extra
extra leg. Where is it?
Sorry, that's a very, very lazy analogy.
That's a swing over his shoulder, get it out of the way.
What's next?
15 to be able to do that, and you can see the relief for Mads Pedersen. That's his 60th career win, and it has been a phenomenal season for the Dane. I just want to bring you confirmation of the general classification as we head into our Jonas Vingegaard as we head into our final week of racing in Spain. Well, elsewhere, it was a huge day for British cycling. The Tour of Britain concluded today. If you are planning to watch this later, this is your spoiler alert. I'll give you a couple of seconds, but no more. We're going in. Romain Grégoire of Groupama FDJ took the just 30 years to the day since he started cycling with me Indy Flyers back in 1995. And it feels like he's changed very little since then. He's kept his humility. He's kept his sense of humour. He's kept his groundedness. And it's been a real privilege to watch that, hasn't it?
It has. It's 19. He's one of us.
Yeah.
He's an everyman, and he's so relatable. He's a family man as well. He just gets on with his business. He's a team player. He's somebody the next chapter holds, but he's kind of well enough. I think we're both quite emotional, all of us, because we all know him pretty well, and he's going to be missed in the peloton.
Yeah.
And we don't see him
at Cardiff Castle tonight. He'll be the king of Cardiff, won't he?
A few beers knocking about.
I'm sure there might be one or two. There might be one or two.
I hope he remembers it.
Who cares? Who cares if he doesn't? A huge day, really, in what's the end of an era of British cycling, isn't it? Yeah. And certainly the end of a career for Geraint Thomas. This part of his career, at least. So let's hear from the man himself, Tour de France winner, Geraint Thomas.
Thanks a lot.
Hashtag pray for G's liver, I would say. It's really... It is emotional watching that, though, isn't it, Adam? We were talking about this earlier as we were watching the end of the Tour of Britain stage, and I think it's been so easy to forget, watching on the success of British cycling, how spoilt we've been for winners and for characters. And we've had Geraint Thomas and Bradley Wiggins and Mark Cavendish and Chris Froome, and it really now that is the end of that era, isn't it?
Yeah, getting on his bike. We're going to miss him for his interviews as well.
Yeah.
They're always great.
Yeah, thanks for the memories, Geraint. It's been an absolute privilege to follow along your career. It's also been a huge day for another legend of British cycling, a legend of British sport, and indeed the world of sport.
Head to their website, by the way, head to their Instagram and donate, because you can keep donating beyond the event. But yeah, a magnificent event and an absolute legend, an inspiration and a reminder to us all.
Yeah, a tower of a man. Huge congratulations to Chris and to Sarah and to all the 3,000 riders who took part in that today. And congratulations to anybody who has donated and made a difference. As Matt says, the donations are still open. So please, if you've been touched by Chris's journey, by how he's vocalised it, by his dignity through it all, then please do dig deep if you so wish. Let's move on to stage 16, Adam, because we've got some glorious races.
Mini Classics Day.
When we look at this final week of racing, Matt, what are the big days to look forward to?
16, 17, 18,
all of them
19.
really, but you say it's we were talking at the very start of the race about how easy, comparatively speaking, the final week is, but it isn't when you drill down. The stage that Adam's just gone through, there's still 3,500 metres of elevation, all packed to the end. But it's small climbs, and the final climb, 8K's at 5%. But the rest of the week, C17 after that is a proper mountaintop finish. So we've got 2 hilltop finishes. Then we go into the individual TT, big GC day, of course. Stage 19 of GC action. The hardest stages, I think there's still 1 or 2 very, very difficult stages, and plenty of opportunity for some serious shenanigans on the GC. So it'll be a well-deserved rest day for everybody.
Yeah.
There you go. That's what it looks like.
How do you think Wies Melisabek will be feeling going into this final rest day, Adam?
Tired. Very tired.
I mean, emotionally speaking.
Tired. No, I think, as Jonas just said there, Wilco Kelderman and what's his name, Dylan van Baal, they've had a lot of riding in their legs this last week, so they'll have been on the front.
Matteo, has a Sepp.
Yeah,
Victor.
they have. They all have completely, and I think, do this, we can do this. So there will be a day where Jonas has probably looked at, said, this is where I want to put all my effort into, a big devastating blow if I can, wrap this race up and get it sorted, hopefully. But the way Almeida's going, anything can happen. So, yeah, they'll be tired, but there's still a big old battle in this final week. Yeah,
they're not the only ones tired. I'm tired of not scoring any points in our competition.
Tired for a long time.
I'm like Mads Pedersen. All the effort, day after day, looking so strong and getting nothing. Look at that, once again, absolutely zero. Matt, nothing. Robbie, nothing. And Adam with a full all 20 points. I'm sure we're all delighted.
The lead, isn't it?
Yeah. Let's have a look.
Gosh.
Oh, well done, Adam. We're really happy for you.
Thanks.
That's Adam Knight in the lead. 16 points.
I love the way your intonation dropped off.
16 points ahead of Robbie McKeon. I am actually happy for you.
You're not, I can tell you.
I know, I promise.
Unbelievable.
I'm still last. Let's have a look how we are doing alongside you, beautiful people at home.
Get it.
And you've got Adam's smug face to contend with because we're still 2 points ahead of Vuelta for now. We need to start picking different riders for the win because we've been 2 points apart for the last week, haven't we?
The problem is with this game is that we pick the favourite and surprisingly...
It's not even down to who wins, it's just who we pick and who they pick at home. And if we pick the same person, we end up in the same points. Well, anyway, think of something to throw into the mix, I think, for Tuesday. Here are the riders that you can go for early vote, or you can wait until 1 hour into the stage on Tuesday. We're off to wash our socks now and have a little bit of a lie down. That's all the time we have for you this evening. We would love to have your company when La Vuelta continues, though. We will have live coverage. Stage highlights are free to air on Quest at 7 p.m. this evening. Well, week 2 ends with a first victory at last for Lidl Trek. That elusive stage win for Mads Pedersen. Jonas Vingegaard retains the red jersey, but there are 6 stages left to contend with before we reach Madrid a week from today. We hope you enjoy the rest of your Sunday evening. We'll see you back here for stage 16 on Tuesday. Bye for now.